All right, good morning, class. Right now, I've got AutoCAD open, and we have a drawing here called the Geneva wheel. Um, and what we're going to do this week is we're going to take some AutoCAD drawings and reuse them in Inventor. So just to show you this, I mean, you've been using AutoCAD for a while now, and this is the part right here. Now, one thing about it is that this one you notice is dimensioned in model space. If we go to paper space, this particular one has no border, title bar, and stuff. But let me make the viewport a little bigger here to make it easier to see. Uh, all the dimensioning is in model space, and that it doesn't really matter either way when we're going to bring it into Inventor. I'll show you that here in just a minute. But you can open this in AutoCAD if you want to. You don't have to for this. But with it, oh, you like my desktop there, my girls? Um, Open Inventor and create you a project for the Geneva Cam assembly, and then download the AutoCAD drawing into that folder. And then we're going to go open, and you're going to open the Geneva wheel AutoCAD drawing because it's listed as a DWG file, and you get to preview it. You can see it there. So we're going to open that. Now, when you bring an AutoCAD drawing into Inventor, you see what you've got is just that. It's a drawing. This is the drawing sheet. The layout is paper space. If we activate the model space, we've got it here, but we can't do anything to it other than uh, I, we can review because we're in model space in AutoCAD, so it's like read only, and that's all we can do is look at it. But we go back to our paper space or the layout. Now we're dealing with a drawing sheet in Inventor. And here we can measure, we can use our measure tools to measure things. We can dimension items. It is read only. Okay, yes. Um, so we can dimension items, and you notice they're colored differently. Okay. We can also sketch. So we can go into a sketch environment and we can draw different things and dimension different things. So any of those things are available to us. Okay. If I go back to my model tab, you see they're not there at all because what we've done is we've created a sketch on a drawing sheet. Now, if you save this file, it your things that you have created will be saved on that uh, because it just adds information to the layout tab in Paperspace in the AutoCAD drawing. But I'm not gonna, I don't want to save any of that, so I'm gonna just back up to there. Okay, so now what we want to do is open a new drawing, and this is an English drawing. So we're going to start with a standard English part. Create. Okay. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste into this. So I want to expand my origin folders there. So I'm going to come back over here to my drawing here, and I'm going to use a box, and I'm going to drag, and I'm going to select all of those things, and I'm going to copy. I just did Control C. You could go, right click and go copy. Let me go back to my part file here, my new file, and I'm going to start a sketch, excuse me, um, on the XZ plane. And of course it rotates it. Now I want to paste this into here. So I'm going to go paste or Control V, and see it just picks up the boundary of what I was working with. So I'm just going to drop it right there. All right. So you see it brought it over. Um, it brought the dimensions over. It flipped it upside down though. That's strange. I've never seen it do that before, but it did. Anyway, strange. Uh, that's new one on me, so it just happened. Anyway, what we've got here is we've got dimensions, and they are parametric dimensions. Okay, so we can edit them. We've got our parts. Just there are some constraints. There are not other constraints. So we'll go show all constraints. So the only ones that are showing up are the coincident constraints. Okay. Now the problem with this is if you notice down here, it says I need 117 more dimensions to be fully constrained. So sometimes bringing in an AutoCAD drawing is not the best way to go. All right, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So what this means is I would have to apply dimensions and constraints to this drawing to get all of that information needed. That's a lot of work. So let's just undo this and go back to a blank sketch. Okay, I'm going to keep my sketch here. So I'm going to go back to my Geneva drawing here, and I want to copy those items right there. Okay, so I want the arc, the edge there, and this. So I want those 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So I'm going to go Control C, go back over here to my sketch, and paste those. It still flipped it. That is just too weird. I don't like that. So um, maybe it's because of the sketch plane I'm on. Let me start that over again. I'm going to work it on the XY plane this time. I like that better. Okay. So XY plane it is. All right, so I brought my sketch over here and it tells me I need 13 dimensions needed. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to apply some constraints and some dimensions, and you just follow along with me as I'm doing this. So I'm going to draw a line from the edge of that arc to the center point there of that, and then I'm going to bring my line up to there. So that gives me a closed profile. And now I want to do some constraints. I want to go tangent here and here. Okay. I want to go parallel this and this. Okay. And I'm going to apply some dimensions. The radius of that, radius of that, radius here, an angle, okay, a length from this point to the center of that, and then a length here to center of that, but I want that to be aligned. All right, so that gives me four dimensions needed. Let's see. I'm going to need a coincident constraint somewhere. Let's bring up all my constraints so I can see them. I'm going to go coincident. Oh, I need to project geometry, my center point. And then I'm going to go coincident up here to my center point. All right, all that still looks good. Let me see what moves. Ah, that moves. That shouldn't move. Yeah, that's not what I want. I'm looking back at my notes to see what I need here. Got those tangent. There we go. That point needs to be on the axes. So we'll go coincident there to there. Oh, I didn't click it. That is what's getting me right there. Ah, that center point there. So I'm going to go coincident again, that point and this line. And that keeps those lined up. Now I'm fully constrained. Okay, so nothing will move. We're all good there. So I'm going to finish the sketch. Now what we can do is we can extrude it. 0.5. Okay, so we got a nice little slice there. And now what we'll do is we will mirror that. Mirror. And my mirror plane is going to be this surface right here. All right, so we got a nice little arrowhead shape. And now we'll do a circular pattern around the tip right here. 6 of them for 360 degrees. And so now I've got the outline of my Geneva wheel. So let's save this. And you can see I've already got a bunch of them going there. I've been practicing. I'm going to call it Geneva wheel 2. And so I've got my part made. All right, so let's go back and look at our sketch here. And I'm just going to resize both of these windows so I can work on them. I've got this piece right here. It was diameter 1.5. All right, so I'll come back and create a sketch here. 1.5. And let's see, it was 0.5 thick. Okay. Extrude that 0.5. Okay, so that's looking good. I've got a 1/4 of an inch fillet. Okay. And now I've got a keyway hole that goes through here, which, oh, excuse me, that was 1.5. This one It was 2.5. Oh, all right. Glad you caught that. Looking out for me. So let's go back and edit that. All right, that looks a little better. All right, so now let's do another sketch on that surface. Uh, and we'll put our 1.5, 1.5 circle. And now I want to do a rectangle right here. And I'm going to project my y-axis and do a coincident constraint of the midpoint of the rectangle to the axes. And then I can dimension my keyway, 0.36 wide. My lines are looking a little squirrely there. Okay, so I had rotated wrong there. Okay, so that's got that centered up. Now let's do some trimming here. I can dimension that, and it was 0.2. All right, it's looking a little weird, so I'm going to go ahead and do a parallel constraint on my x-axis, just in case. Let's look at these. Parallel, 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 perpendicular. Okay, so we should be good there. I guess I'm touching my 3D mouse and it's making it move, but I'm fully constrained. So let's extrude that hole with a cut all the way through. All right, and so now we've got our Geneva wheel created. Um, it's a trade-off. Is it easier to copy from AutoCAD into here and work with it, or is it easier to start from scratch and do it? It's just kind of a decision you'll have to make. But I do want you to do it this way. We'll have one more, the Geneva base, that you will do on your own with no video. I'll give you the dimensions for that. And then you got a couple of other parts that you will create and assemble.